Hey everyone, welcome back to POPRAGEOUS. My name is Danny Alex. So obviously the Odyssey is out this weekend, and the big question is, what is it going to do in terms of numbers? We're expecting 80 to 100 million dollars for domestic box office, 200 million for international. Now I saw this movie yesterday. I didn't like it. As a screenwriter, it's one of the first things I analyzed. The screenplay was very weak. It was all half baked. I didn't like the casting, the dialogue. I found the dialogue horrendous. Not everyone agrees, but I gave it a 5 out of 10. That was my 5 out of 10. It's one of those movies you'll watch on a Saturday night, you'll fall asleep halfway through, and you'll finish it on Sunday. That's the kind of movie. That's what it felt like to me. I think it's one of his weakest movies. But what is the box office? What do we got? Preliminary box office? Well, The Odyssey box office journey begins with 17.6 million in previews. This weekend's lone wide release is Christopher Nolan's epic feature from Universal that stars Matt Damon and Tom Holland and Anne Hathaway, to name a few. Something else, guys, I found the casting to be so weak. I don't know why Travis Scott was even in it. I don't know why Zendaya was in it. Those were two roles that just seems like it was like patronage roles. It's like, hey, do me a favor. It's like Tom Holland. Hey, Christopher, can you do me a favor? Can you put my wife in this? That's what there's played no material role in the movie except for the symbolism at the end. But you know what? You can figure that out whether you liked it or not. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey sets sail on its box office voyage as the star-studded retelling of the classical mythological tale aims to get moviegoers back in the saddle after a recent stretch of underperforming debuts. Yeah, there's been a few. Universal Pictures feature collected 17.6 million from Thursday previews on 3,900 North American screens as it targets a projected opening between the mid 80 million range to upwards of 100 million. The film eyes a global start of around 200 million and carries a hefty $250 million production budget. But the other thing is, did Nolan get points on this? If he's getting like 10 points, that changes the math dramatically. If the production budget is 250 million, call it 150 million for marketing. You might say it's 800 million from that. But if he's getting 10 points, that's going to bump that up to 900 million, maybe even up to $1 billion. And I'll guarantee you, Christopher Nolan commands, he does pretty well when he's negotiating his fee when doing a movie. Not so much after this movie, if you ask me. Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, who I thought was terrible. Honestly, I thought he was terrible in this movie. And Lupita Nyong'o star in the story of Odysseus, aiming to return home after the Trojan War to reclaim his throne as the king of Ithaca and reunite with wife Penelope. Nolan's biggest domestic opening of his career was The Dark Knight Rises in July 2012. I mean, that was a terrible movie, if you ask me. I know people like that Batman trilogy. I don't. I think, again, it's terrible screenplays. As the Batman sequel soared to 160 million domestically before surpassing 1 billion in its global run, the filmmaker's most recent release was 2023's Oppenheimer, which opened to 82.4 million domestically. It ultimately picked up 975 million worldwide, along with winning 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Nolan's first Best Director Oscar. While The Odyssey is the lone wide release opening this weekend, Oppenheimer famously was part of the cultural sensation known as Barbenheimer. The Odyssey marks the first film to be shot entirely on IMAX cameras, making premium large formats a key draw for many moviegoers, given that only 25 U.S. theater screens IMAX 70mm film. Only 25. Those tickets have been particularly coveted for cinephiles. Critics largely adore The Odyssey, as its 96% approval rating from Rotten Tomatoes represents Nolan's best score of his career. Look, the media and the corporate critics, it's very hard to take what they take seriously. They give out, they give the wrong review at the wrong time. They don't get to do the next one, or a lot of them are paid. There's a lot of things that are wrong with the entire critic system associated with movies. It's just there to manipulate the customer. It's there to make the customer buy tickets for movies and not give an actually full, honest review of what that movie represents. Just behind that, The Dark Knight and Memento at 94%, with Oppenheimer hitting 93. In his review of The Odyssey for The Hollywood Reporter, chief film critic David Rooney deemed it a meditative action movie, both immense and intimate, albeit one whose flow is impeded by the inherently episodic nature of the non-linear source material and some questionable casting choices. Who had the thesaurus out when they were writing their review? David Rooney? Now, some of the casting choices, I think the casting was terrible. I think John Leguizamo should get a Razzie Award. I thought he was so bad. He was so bad in The Odyssey, his role. There was more Colombians than Greeks in The Odyssey, by the way. That's interesting. Additionally, THR's list that ranks Nolan's it's French, puts The Odyssey in the second place behind only The Dark Knight. Universal's adaptation of Homer's epic work of Greek literature also has the benefit of the following weekend being a rare July frame to not hold any wide releases. Studios were apparently reticent to place a title in between this weekend's The Odyssey and the July 31st release of Sony's Spider-Man Brand New Day, also starring Holland and Zendaya. And I think also the World Cup, too. When's the World Cup? The World Cup is coming up. There it is, serving as potential competition for moviegoers this weekend, particularly for international audiences, is Sunday's World Cup final between Spain and Argentina. It takes place in the afternoon at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium. Here we're going to get into a little bit of Moana, but that's another flop. Big flop. Not a big Dwayne Johnson fan myself. That is just how it is. But that's the way it is, guys. That's how we're starting off. The Odyssey box office journey begins with $17.6 million in previews. They're expecting $200 million for the weekend. I think The Odyssey is going to underperform, guys. I think between 500 and 600 million. This is not a good movie. I think it's quite an incredible disappointment. The Odyssey. And it should have been a TV show. This should not have been a movie, guys. But we'll see what happens. We'll see on Monday. We'll see what the numbers are going to tell us. I'm Danny Alex. Cheers.